Want to make sure that you're able to persevere through the tough times? In this quick clip from episode 26 of the Legacy and Leadership Podcast, Devon and I give you 2 reminders as to why you should not deviate from your plan. Right about now, you are listening to the Legacy and Leadership Podcast, a show where we discuss living as a leader worth following, leading others to do the same, and in doing so, leaving a legacy for future generations. My name is Jimmy Gonzalez Jr., a learning and development professional and leadership coach, sitting down with my co-host Anthony Devon Watts Jr., an expert contact center leader that has effectively led and developed dynamic teams with high motivation. Together, we have over 30 years experience in the corporate game. Join us as we discuss our growth as leaders, share the lessons we've learned, and interview others to see how their leadership style was shaped as they were mentored by adversity. And shout out to my sister, Selena Winters. You can find her on Instagram. Has a lot of content out there. She's a consultant and business coach for a company, Monet, teaching people how to use these vegan products for facial and hair care products. So I was sitting down with her and really coaching her, right? And we went through this mind mapping session, and there was 4 different areas that I was helping her to mind map and focus on. But once we did that part, again, that's kind of the fun part, because you're strategizing, but you're thinking about these goals that I want to set. And then I was like, okay, so now comes the hard part. Like, now we have to take each one of these, and it was like 4 or 5 of them, and start creating those action items. And then once those action items are created, now you have to put in the habit to say, okay, let me take a look at my week. Let me take a look at each day. When am I going to start blocking time and making sure that I'm being intentional about blocking time to get each one of those tasks done? Like, that's where the hard work comes in. That's the habits that you have to create and make sure stick, so that you find the success. And every, again, successful entrepreneur, business person, athlete, entertainer, those really successful people that, you just see them. I think about somebody like The Rock, or even Michael Strahan. It has like 3 or 4 different jobs, and you see them working all the time. Well, how did they do that? Because they have these habits, they have a plan, and they're sticking to it, and they don't deviate. And if anything, they'll make adjustments, but they're so intentional about sticking to that, and they're still human like the rest of us. Like, we all have issues, right, that we're going to come across. And having those solid plans in place make it that much more easier for you to persevere, because it's going to happen, right? We saw, obviously, the greatest example that we've probably had in our lifetime was 2020, and we came, busting the door down and super excited, and one thing after another just continued to just come at us from all different angles. And it really gave us, a true lesson in what it means to make adjustments to your plans, how you're affected when those really tough life circumstances hit you and you don't really even have a plan to begin with. But again, more importantly, just the resilience of folks and how you persevere through those times.
Yeah, man. To say that I've walked away, or I've come out of 2020 just thoroughly impressed and in awe of the resilience and the perseverance of so many people in my life that I personally know, that I've been able to observe from a distance, would be an understatement. It really would be. And when we talk about perseverance, especially from a goal setting perspective, like you hit the nail on the head, inevitably we're going to run into that roadblock. Having that foundation, having that game plan makes it easier to make adjustments. And I think you even call this out, like with, Michael Strahan or whoever, as they're working their plan, they run into this roadblocks too. Like we all run into roadblocks, but because we have a plan, we can always go back and deviate and pivot and figure out another approach. Right. And just being able to persevere is so critically important, because that's the difference maker. That's the X factor in being able to attain what you've set out to achieve and, falling short. Even on a small scale, again, I know our listeners have heard us talk, over these last couple episodes extensively, just about our fitness goals. Last night I was confronted face to face, right? With I was confronted face to face with an opportunity to test my ability to persevere when it comes to sticking with my fitness plan, right? I just put the kids to bed. Me and the missus were chilling, we were hanging out. I forgot what we watched on TV. Oh, we caught up on Your Honor, which is a really, really great show. So we watched that, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get my workout in, right? It's about time. It's about 10:30, almost 11 o'clock at night, which is, when I like to work out. So let me go get it. So I started getting dressed, right? I end up opening the door because I just want to get a feel for like, hey, what's the temperature out, right? I open the door and it is raining, bro. I'm talking about like torrential downpour, you know what I mean? Like when they say cats and dogs, it was like the whole animal shelter, right? And so I'm just like, I'm looking and I'm like, oh man, like it's raining, and it's cold. It's like 59 degrees outside, right? And a part of my workout plan is, half a mile run to the gym, get my workout in, half a mile run back, right? And so like I was confronted face to face with all the reasons to say, well, I ain't gonna work out tonight, right? Mm-hmm. But because I already have a plan, because I have accountability planning process, not only do I talk to you about my fitness journey and making sure that I'm staying accountable that way. Our good friend, Pastor Shav, he and I are both on that journey together. And so like, even from the gym, our commitment to one another is every time we hit the gym, like we have to send each other a video of us in the gym, like getting work in, you know what I mean? And that's just another, level of accountability, right? A level of accountability is another form of coaching, right? Around my goal, right? Having an accountability partner. And so when I opened the door and I saw the rain and I felt the weather, I was like, well, I got to figure out another plan. Like, how am I going to change my plan? Because I know what I need to work out, or what body parts I need to work out today. I know to what extent I need to follow through on my game plan. Right, I have a commitment to Shav. I got to send him the vid. I got a commitment to Jimmy. I know I'm going to be meeting with him tomorrow. I got to talk to him about it. Mm-hmm. Right, and I have a commitment, more importantly, to myself, to my well-being, to my health, to these goals that I've set out for myself. And so, I changed my game plan up. I didn't do the half a mile run there and the half a mile run back. I took another route that was like more direct to the gym. Went straight to the gym. I got my run in on the treadmill and still did all of my routines. And then came right back home despite the weather, right? But I knew if I did not demonstrate, and again, this is on a small scale, right? But if I didn't demonstrate the willingness, the desire to persevere and overcome this bad weather, right? This bad weather, how slippery of a slope that could be to me deviating from my plans in the future, right? Because now I made that one compromise, and then so in the next day I'm supposed to work out on Friday. Well, man, I'm still not really feeling it. It's still a little bit cold, and now I've deviated. And then the next Monday, I got too much going on, and then next thing you know, I'm totally off the wagon, and I'm no longer following my process, right? I'm no longer following the game plan that I've laid out for myself. And so we talked about that a little bit with our cold brew and convos about, giving into temptation or making a compromise can lead to bad habit or habits not sticking, right? And so that's where perseverance comes into play, like being able to push through that, being able to figure out another game plan so that you can still hold true to your goals.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
You have just listened to the Legacy and Leadership Podcast, hosted by Jimmy Gonzalez and Devon Watts. Thank you, and we hope that you live, lead, and leave a legacy worth remembering. Until next time.